If what they say is true and the ultimate objective is to prepare for retirement by gaining financial independence,
then how do you accomplish that goal? This means having the resources to cover all your life's expenses, even in the face of things like energy crises, soaring inflation, and so much more adversity.
Of course, the goal is to liberate yourself from the monthly grind of trading your time for a monthly paycheck.
But how do you do that? Well, now I'm in my newscaster mode for you guys, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how to successfully invest in Belize as a 20, 21, 22, 20 to 30s, basically, how to do it successfully.
Buckets.
Well, let's start. According to CNBC, starter homes may be a thing of the past for millennial and Gen Z homeowners as they plan to stay put for the next 2 decades. And when I get into some of the home ownership stats for millennials and Gen Z, it's going to be quite shocking to you guys. But needless to say, there's not a very large sentiment that the possibility for home ownership is really something they can attain right now. And why is that? Well, when you look at the median or average income in the US for 2019, $31,133. Based on the stats, we've seen about a 2% increase in income per annum. Meanwhile, if you look at the average price for a property in the United States, we're looking just blanket for the country, it's around $430,000, approximately a 33% increase just from the prior year. So not only is it hard to own a home right now if you're a young person in the US, it's literally getting harder as we speak. And we're gonna talk about some of the reasons why before telling you what the best investments in Belize for your age demographic are. So home ownership by age, under 35, 39%, 35 to 44, 62.2%, 45 to 54, 70.5%, 55 to 64, 75.1%, and 65 plus, 79.1%. So the source of that is the US Census Bureau. Not sure if you guys have heard of them, but overall they're a pretty reliable source. Let's talk about Canada. We have viewers that watch from Canada and the US. Give you the full perspective here. So the median annual income from Canada is around $40,630 per annum. What is the average cost for a home in Canada? Well, according to the Canadian housing data, the average cost for a home was around $650,000 as of September 15th, 2023. So once again, that's actually even a little bit harder to attain that goal of owning a home if you're a Canadian. So where does the sentiment come from that it's impossible for a millennial or Gen Z to own a home? Well, it is getting harder. So we're looking at increased house prices overall, and here's some of the key homeowner data as of 2023 in the US. So the home ownership rate as of the first quarter of 2023 is 66%, which we now know that home ownership rate amongst young adults has actually declined. So it's going down from 1990 to 2021. And that's really, I think, because of more of a defeated mentality. And it is getting a little bit harder to find a solid job and own a home as a young person, which I think you guys already know where I'm going with all of this information. But right here we have home ownership rates by state. So this will give you a bit of a breakdown. Obviously, if you look at major US cities, we're gonna find that this is even more complicated for young people. If you're in the Midwest or more rural areas, then it's probably gonna be an easier task. And by no means, guys, am I saying it's impossible to invest in a home. I'm a firm believer that anything is possible. Set your mind to anything, you can accomplish whatever you want. I'm just saying there's other options, and we're gonna get to those when we get to the Belize section. To give you a specific example from Canada of one of those markets that is more complicated to own a home in, according to the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, it indicates that the average price for resale residential homes sold across Toronto as of August 2023 was $1,141,400, an increase of 2.5% compared to a year ago. So I think you guys get the point. Some people point to big institutions like BlackRock, which are buying up homes, and there's a lot of fear around this. You know, how do they solve that? How do you keep institutions from buying single family homes and driving prices up? It's gonna be a complicated one to fix, which basically leads me into my, what do you do if you're investing in Belize? It's hard to own real estate in the US and Canada. The good news for you is if you are a 20 to 39-year-old looking to invest and don't have a ton of money, there is a great way for you to do it.
Just like the current state of housing in the United States and in Canada for a younger person, that was me sitting in the sun over there. I had to move into the shade and cool down a bit. Now we have to answer the two key questions of why you're here. Why should you invest in Belize as a young person? And then what should you invest in? So for me, when I was younger, the things that I was thinking is, look, I'm less risk averse. So I'm young, I have time to screw up, learn from my mistake, and then recover from that. And also I've got a longer runway to make my investment. And if you're also someone older, you could be thinking about your kids or your kids' kids. This could be generational stuff as well. But for me at that age, I was thinking about what's my runway, what's my risk aversion, and how much money do I have? And the answer to that was, I'm not very risk averse. I got a longer runway and I don't have a lot of money, which led me to looking at areas like Secret Beach. I did a video called My First Investment in Belize Real Estate. I think it's a pretty good video. If you guys want to check that one out, we'll link it in the description as well. But in it, I talk about buying a lot in Secret Beach. And this is like one of the basic things that you guys could do. Right now, the lots started around $35,000. There's 20% down financing on those. So very affordable right now if you're a young person. We're not talking about needing to come up with hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, if you work and save up for a year or half, whatever the case may be for you, you can accomplish that goal. And the other thing about it, it's in an area that was basically at the beginning of the runway, and it's on an island. We're on the island of Ambergris Caye right now. That's why it's so beautiful out here. But it's on an island with a limited supply of real estate, and it's in an area that is the next area to develop. So for me, that made the most sense. I did want to build on it, and there's certain things you can do with your lot as a young person. I'm gonna break down all three of them. One, you can buy it, you can hold it, and you can wait. Two, you could buy it and you could sell it. If you buy it with cash, you can sell it with seller financing and get a fixed return on your investment. Or three, you can develop it out and put it on Airbnb or potentially flip that house or flip that lot. So what I did was I actually did a modular home, a prefab home. They do them in San Ignacio, and these are super affordable as well. The house shell is, I think for a 400 square foot kind of tiny home that we just got, it was around 50,000. You then have to still put in your utilities because it's in an off-grid area. But overall, these are kind of the plays you can do. And as a young person, that's really my top recommendation. Now, you might have a larger budget and there might be an option that's a better fit for you. And if that's the case, then as always, we're gonna put my email up there. But why should you invest in Belize as a young person? Well, you got a lot of time. I'm gonna tell you, for me, I moved from Canada, and being out here, being able to sit by a pool in October right now, and even the ability to just be this sweaty on camera, I wouldn't have this in Canada, so I'm grateful for that. But being in a place where the opportunity to enter the market is more affordable with strong ownership rights, and also giving me an excuse to, at the beginning, come to Belize more, but in the end, just move to Belize. I mean, it changed my life, and that's my overall advice to younger people. But any real estate questions, we're gonna throw my info up there. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. It's going to be a series, and in the next 1 or 2 videos, we're gonna be announcing the winner of the 3-day getaway in Belize. So make sure you guys are subscribed, following, and liking all the videos. I really appreciate when you do. We'll see you out here in paradise soon, guys, and in the next video as well.